Hey, hello Achron fans! So, regarding the Shalkka vs. GoogleFrog Game 1, we decided that we realized that there's a nice little feature of Achron. You can save the game at any time, the host can save, and you can actually play that as a map from when you were. So, we'll be doing that. If Shalkka wins the next match on Frostbite, then we'll be playing Imperium just the last few minutes of that, just to see who actually wins. And if GoogleFrog wins both matches, there'll really be no issue, but if Shalkka wins either of the next two matches, then we will use that save to settle the dispute and to make it absolutely clear who wins, who loses, who moves on to the finals. So that's a bit better, a bit more fair solution than the just give Shalkka the win because he had the advantage solution, and it just feel a bit stupid that we didn't think of it at the time, but yes, we will. Any further disconnects, we'll make sure to save the game and then start playing again from the saved game so that everyone will be able to get back in the game. We won't have any disconnects causing real issues. Anyway, on to the next game is going to be Frostbite. We just saw this map with numbers and haiku. So GoogleFrog and Shalkka once again. This is GoogleFrog's pick because basically Shalkka said, okay, they both chose a map and then Shalkka decided, yeah, Frostbite's okay. So we went with Frostbite and... well, both of them said Frostbite was okay. Once again, still the same map as was before. 4 players, lots of expansions, 4 bases, and, well, 4 player slots, I should say. So the players will be randomly distributed across the map with those 4 slots. They will each have a main. There'll be 2 spare mains, and the same sort of hard-to-defend natural expansions near the middle, and also easier-to-defend expansions on the side, but have lower resource rate. This is a map that both players have, well, GoogleFrog has played on. He did very well against Torben on it. Shalkka didn't play on it. He actually played on Desecrated Temple, which is a similar style of map, having 4 players slots, but it's a bit of a smaller map. Well, it's a bit of a smaller rush distance map, and it has more resources spread out along the edges, whereas Frostbite spreads more resources near the center. So Frostbite is a lower resource map that is going to be quite interesting. The last map, Imperium, was also a fairly low resource map, so both players were doing very well in Imperium, and we'll see how well they do on Frostbite. Once that comes up, we will have the game going. So GoogleFrog will probably continue to play CISO, though I'm not sure. That last game didn't go well for him. Though the harassment was pretty good at first, it just didn't go well for him right at the start. I think I'm going to double check something. Yes, both players are loading. Sorry, I wasn't sure if either player had disconnected. Sorry about that delay. So yes, both players are loading. Once they load in, they will be ready, and we will have everything set up for where the players are. So we have it set up. So GoogleFrog is in the bottom right corner, and Shalkka is in the bottom left corner, so it's much shorter rush distances. Both players on the bottom. Close position game this time around, though compared to Imperium, it's still fairly long distances. GoogleFrog has not chosen his race yet, but we're about to see what he chose. Like I said, probably CISO, but he may have decided to go for something else because it didn't work out well last time. I doubt it, though. Actually, no, I had about that. He is actually going for Vector. Shalkka is also going for CISO. So both players, the players have actually swapped races, though Shalkka was going random, so it's not entirely surprising. Shalkka is going CISO, and GoogleFrog is going for Vector. Means, kind of interesting, just turning the tables on it. I'm guessing GoogleFrog will probably end up trying to do what Shalkka just did. I'm not sure what Shalkka is going to go for. Common CISO strategy is exactly what GoogleFrog did to make quick factories, quick ATCs, harass with those, and I wouldn't be surprised if Shalkka just decided to do that. GoogleFrog, on the other hand, I'm not sure what he's planning on doing, playing Vector, though he may end up doing basically what he did against Torben. I'm trying to do it against Torben with the skip-enabled Zion pulsers, which are quite effective, or very effective actually, but it turns out he's going for that. He is going for a quick foundation, likely a quick depot, so that will likely become Zion pulsers. We will see how that pans out very quickly. GoogleFrog has actually jumped back again near the beginning of the timeline. I don't know if he's changing his start pattern at all. I don't think he's changing his race. He's probably a bit too far up from the race selector to have done that. And no, he is consistently going for Vector. He's definitely getting nothing really changed. So he's just double checking his start, probably changing around RP selection slightly. He has not done much. Shalkka, on the other hand, is just scouting out, trying to figure out where everyone is. He is sending out scouts to the center of the map. They probably already have heard each other, so they know where they are. GoogleFrog is going to be building up a depot very early, actually about 1 minute 20 seconds. Though trying to avoid making it propagate too quickly. No, never mind. He's just building it up, not doing anything fancy. So the depot will be done probably about 1:45, 1:50. It's pretty standard timing. And yeah, see, Shalkka is actually sending some forces in to see what GoogleFrog is doing and make doubly sure that GoogleFrog is playing Vec Gear. He will see the depot. He will see that being used to build vehicles, or will be soon. GoogleFrog doesn't seem to be building vehicles right now. While Shalkka is building a fast factory, 2 importers, and I think, is that an ATHC up there? It looks like it's fast enough to be. No, it's just a Marine. Sorry. We're in fast forward, so I got a bit confused. That is a Marine or Spec Ops. Another Marine is being sent, or Spec Ops is being sent to the base, is just about to encounter the base, so GoogleFrog will very quickly find out what Shalkka is doing. And there is a design pulsar being built. Shalkka will figure out what GoogleFrog is doing, because I forgot that they changed races. So yeah, Shalkka knows that GoogleFrog is going for very quick vehicles, got the design pulsar out, and is getting another foundation as well, probably for a fast aerial control center. Shalkka, on the other hand, has three importers and a factory and an armory. No other buildings for production built up yet, just the importers. It may be one too many importers for what production he has, but he may also be trying to save a lot of reserves for a later game strategy. We'll see how that pans out, but I don't know how well it'll actually work. Shalkka has jumped back a bit further just to change around some stuff, setting one order different, probably a scouting order, but GoogleFrog does have a Zion Pulsar just outside of Shalkka's base, ready to teleport in, or just move in. Hasn't actually done that yet at GoogleFrog's time, while Shalkka, no, doesn't need to change too much. He still has his scouting orders going on as normal, still has his production going on as normal. Still has, his importer was actually moved slightly, so he has 3 importers, looks like a 4th importer coming up, so he's got a lot of importers. ATHC is coming up, so looks like standard strategy. Zion Pulsar teleporting around for GoogleFrog will be likely attacking fairly soon, though he may be setting up for a couple more Zion Pulsars, waiting until they come in, and then using those to actually go for the real attack. Shalkka has gone up here, and an aerial control center is up. Wow, GoogleFrog is going for very fast tech on the building side. No actual upgrades, but still very fast tech for building. He is going to be, however, dealing with another ATHC coming in. Cloaked ATHC is coming in for Shalkka at GoogleFrog's time, too. Has seen the Zion Pulsar coming in, though I don't know if Shalkka noticed that. Shalkka is not paying attention at this exact point in time. So the ATHC will not actually know... Well, actually, no, might be able to tell Shalkka what's going on, but Shalkka should see he does see the Zion Pulsar now. He will know that there is a Zion Pulsar coming into the base, though may very well have attacked from GoogleFrog's time. The ATHC is continuing along to the main base and will be able to harass it a little bit, but not very much. There is a spare foundation that will be able to detect it, and that will end its... Well, it's able to attack, but it's able to be detected. It's able to be attacked. GoogleFrog can deal with it at his leisure, and he is in fact sending some infantry to help deal with it. And it looks like... You know what? No, it might actually be out of range of the foundation. It's just out of range of the foundation. The infantry is either ignoring it or probably can't see it at all. GoogleFrog trying to stay out of range of the foundation just to scout what's going on. Shalkka, the CISO player right now. He is the one standing outside the base. GoogleFrog knows it's coming. Or probably figured out something there. Yes, he has. He is definitely going out to attack it. And that ATHC will not last long. His days are definitely numbered. GoogleFrog will be eliminating it very quickly. Shalkka will be able to see that happen. He is moving it away, so Shalkka will not lose that ATHC. GoogleFrog moving forward, try to figure out what's going on, and has actually jumped back to better attend to this Lancer coming in that Shalkka has sent in to help harass close to the unplayable past, while the ATHC is scouting out at the top, so the ATHC is not going to be helping out too much. The Lancer actually just died very quickly to some test gears and just general gear class units. So Shalkka's small harassment did not pay off very well. It's a cheap harassment, so not a big investment, but still didn't pay off very well, and that will be a small problem. Shinturter is coming in, and if he can't see the ATHC yet, he will definitely see the ATHC once that comes up. The Zion Pulsar also coming in as well. Zion Pulsar being built from Zion Gear or being repaired, and the ATHC will be dying very quickly. However, I think Shalkka did move that away, so ultimately the ATHC will likely live. Yes, he will. It moved back slightly, so... GoogleFrog not able to completely kill that ATHC, but he's still going to be able to go for an attack with the units he has. Not a very quick attack, though. I'm a bit surprised. I'm not entirely surprised because he might just be going for a delayed attack in the unplayable pass. Though, I've seen some... As we saw earlier, quick attacks can actually pay off really well if the harassment is protracted and it ends up falling into the unplayable pass. But at this point, GoogleFrog seems to be wanting to go for more of a delayed attack. He seems to be waiting until the Temporal pass comes up. No, he is attacking now, and he's hitting the Marine that was, or Swap that was, Sop, Specialized that was handing out outside in the natural, has completely obliterated it, jumped forward as well to try to, I'm not sure exactly what, just double check what's going on at that time. A armory has been built in the center of the map, which was built a while ago for Shalkka to build some more infantry. Not doing too much with it yet, but if he builds an infantry, it might actually be able to pay off pretty well. Against Zion Pulsars, infantry are not super effective, but if he's able to get through the Zion Pulsars, then the infantry will be able to actually be in large enough numbers to end up tearing apart the base, though getting rid of the Zion Pulsars is going to be a hard enough task. I don't think that the infantry will be able to deal with it alone. Factories, however, do exist for Shalkka. In his main base, he likely has about 2 or 3 factories that will allow him to build up a bit better, have a larger army, but he doesn't have the, well, he doesn't really have anything that big coming up yet. Ground units has been researched. It looks like he is definitely going for an infantry build. He doesn't have any vehicles that would be benefiting from ground units, but he does have Marines. Those do benefit from ground units, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Marines coming in very quickly for Shalkka, either as a delayed attack or just as a general attack. He would have a set of hierarchies. I don't think he's done that yet. If he does, then he will be able to attack, but like I said, the 2 Zion Pulsars should be able to deal with the infantry he's sending right now. It looks like it's about half a dozen or so. Just looking at the GoogleFrog's main base, I can't tell. But at his own base, it looks like there is a macrofab being built. Mar tanks do benefit. They can become Twin Mars, but very rarely do people actually build Twin Mars. GoogleFrog teleporting around too, and it looks like those units will not be attacking. Oh no, they will be attacking very close to the Unplayable Pass too. GoogleFrog slightly behind the Unplayable Pass, or below the Unplayable Pass, will be able to see this coming, won't be able to do much about it. There is the infantry coming in, and GoogleFrog looks like he is teleporting into his natural, moving around, but not really. Actually, no, he is attacking directly to the main base. It's hard to tell. I can't see where his objective lines end, but he might actually be attacking. No, he's defending the natural, going up towards the natural. Oh, I can't tell where he's going. I'd like to see the main base of Shalkka, though. I wonder what he's up to. The infantry are coming in, though, coming down, and will attack, but I don't think GoogleFrog will allow that to happen. He does have infantry coming in to try to, well, we'll deal with it when it comes in. He does seem to be more focused on going in, and no, actually, there is a Zion Pulsar in Shalkka's base. The list has been there for a while that's dealing some damage, and I'm guessing that Shin Tertia and Zion Pulsar set will be coming in as well. They do seem to be headed towards the main base of Shalkka, trying to distract Shalkka. The infantry attack will be coming in quite strong, but there are still Tet Tertiars coming in, harassing, or there's a harassment force that came in and was destroyed by the Tet Tertiars, while a Lancer trying to defend for Shalkka's base will not be doing very well at all. Will help against the Shin Tertia, but the Zion Pulsars will be able to tear it down. However, at the same time, Shalkka is coming in and dealing a lot of damage. Well, no, actually, he's dealing very little damage. GoogleFrog will be able to defend against the Zion Pulsars, and Zion Pulsars are actually teleporting back in. Everything's teleporting back in to that base, and it looks like, yes, everything has destroyed the infantry. The infantry will not last at all. Like I expected, GoogleFrog would not allow that to happen. So now, I'm sure he's probably wondering, where is that armory coming from? Where is those infantry coming from? And if he finds out, then Shalkka's going to definitely lose this game. But if he doesn't find out long enough, Shalkka is building up some more buildings around there. He does have another armory built up. He looks like he's going for Haiku's mass infantry strategy, but he does have a macrofab to help support, likely with Mar tanks. So between that, the infantry, he should be able to deal with GoogleFrog's forces if he's able to stay up hidden. But I doubt that will happen. GoogleFrog's likely to be looking around the map and around the timeline to figure out what's going on, because that would be just the smart thing to do. However, GoogleFrog does seem to be a bit more focused on base no, he is teleporting around, just making sure, double-checking what he's going on. Like I said, I thought he'd be doing that. And he has found a mech, and he's found the macrofab that I'm sure he suspected existed, and will be likely, and he's attacking that right now, likely to destroy it, sending a Zion Pulse straight into the main base to figure out what's going on there. I don't know if he realizes how many armories there are, if he missed the armories. I don't think he saw them. No, he was just outside of vision range when he teleported by, so he won't be able to see the armories yet, though he may suspect them once he sees that the main base doesn't have enough armories to really produce that many infantry that quickly. But I'm not sure. Maybe that's... it's kind of hard to tell that when you are playing. It's difficult to tell how much your opponent has, but you can hear what is being built. He may have already heard out what's going on, but he hasn't responded to it yet. We are synced with his timeline, so we are looking at his focus point in time. And a frigate has been built. The frigate, however, will not last very long at all. No, actually, GoogleFrog has completely stopped paying attention to this timeline. He's jumped back a bit, not timeline, sorry, this time point. He's jumped back a bit further and has actually started building a foundation from the Shin Tertia, from the Shin gear that came from the Shin Tertia, building a foundation, building a second foundation. He doesn't have auto defense, though, so they won't be able to do much more than get a mid-ground depot. But a mid-ground depot... No, never mind. Auto defense is being researched, and that will actually help out very effectively. So GoogleFrog will be able to build a forward bastion to help attack this, get rid of his macrofab, and then be able to, if he sees it, get the infantry. But Shalkka seems to be continuously producing infantry from those armories in the middle of the map, and if that works, then that will be able to help out a lot. And a mid-ground depot is being built that will be able to repair and rebuild the vehicles from Veer-class units. A bastion has been built too, 2 bastions actually, so that will be very effective at securing a forward position for GoogleFrog. GoogleFrog from this point seems very secure, but that middle armories, those middle armories are a threat. He does have some units going near them. I don't know if they're going to see them. It looks like they're just barely missing them, and it's hard to tell. I can't tell what's going on up there at the center of the map, but if I knew what was going on at the center of the map, I would be able to see if they had vision. It looks like GoogleFrog is actually going to the center of the map, and if he hasn't seen it yet, he'll definitely see it very soon, and he's going to see it right now. Yes, he does have, however, a dozen infantry coming in. Those may be able to take out one Zion Pulsar. Maybe if they're lucky. No, they came in one at a time. Yeah, Shalkka's infantry are going to be completely obliterated, coming in one at a time, not able to obliterate GoogleFrog's Zion Pulsars. Zion Pulsars, of course, are the countered infantry, being artillery units, infantry being very small and easy to bunch up. The Zion Pulsars will be able to make very short work of those infantry units, and Shalkka will have a very hard time dealing with what's going on. Shortly, though, he will have one base, Shalkka that is. GoogleFrog will be able to obliterate the center, and Shalkka, another foundation also coming out just to make sure nothing fishy goes on here any further. That will be very hard for Shalkka to get out of. Shalkka does have the top left RPs. He does have his main base, but most of his production facilities were in the center of the map and are being torn apart right now. His defense force is being obliterated as well, and this looks like GoogleFrog and Shalkka, however, are looking further back in the past. Shalkka isn't looking this far in the future. Nothing is really propagated this far that shows anything going for Shalkka, but really he's focused very near the unplayable past. That's when it needs to be seen what is going on. And a comm center is actually being built up to help out as well, getting auto hierarchy going for Shalkka, helping out a little bit with the infantry attacking in the group, but they're mostly retreating. Though it's hard to tell. They stopped in the middle of that. They aren't really going any further. I'm surprised. Not entirely, though, because it looks like the comm center was destroyed, but they are going to be... Actually, it's hard to tell. Are they going through? It looks like they are still dying. Yeah, okay, sorry. There's timeline discontinuity, so now we're jumping back to see what's actually propagating. Looks like there is... Now, Shalkka will not be able to really defend against this very effectively. His infantry were able to run away, but they run away into right where that bastion was, which will kill them. So Shalkka, focusing further in the future, I guess try to figure out what he can do. Getting against Gate Tech, GoogleFrog is getting Gate Tech as well. Has Gate Tech, actually, not just getting. He has acquired Gate Tech. Shalkka does not have any Gate Tech. Nothing to really save this. He does have his main base, but GoogleFrog has Shalkka's natural along with his own main, and the center of the map has a bastion, just to double check that nothing fishy is going on. So GoogleFrog really is kind of at leisure to deal with what's going on here. A couple of Lancers are set up, however, to... do those defend? I think that's actually successfully defended. If we go back a bit, go down a few minutes, it looks like... No, they won't be able to successfully defend. There are a bunch of forces coming in from GoogleFrog's main base. The Lancers have retreated, and that will be the end of the center of the map. Not quite as effective as GoogleFrog may have liked, but it is definitely going to be destruction of the center of the map. Shalkka still building forces from his one factory. Actually, no, he's got factory and armory coming in the northwest expansion. Still not a lot of production capacity, though. GoogleFrog definitely with the advantage of production capacity, the advantage of everything, really. This will be a very difficult road for Shalkka to climb up if he's trying to win the game right now. And frankly, at this point in the time, I don't know how Shalkka's going to be able to pull out of this. He doesn't have a whole lot of production capacity. He doesn't have a lot of chrono energy, really. His chrono energy seems to be his biggest limiter right now. And with Gate Tech on GoogleFrog's side, no Slipgate yet, but still, that may be not true in all of his bases. No Slipgate in his main base, maybe his natural. No Slipgate in his natural either. At least not when we're looking. He may have built one in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. However, the fact that he is able to teleport at will means he's able to find the base and destroy it very rapidly. This will not last long for Shalkka at all. I think Shalkka is going to be losing this again. I don't see him being able to pull off a comeback like he had in the first game. The first game, the key to that comeback was the Zion Pulsars, the artillery units. However, he's not building Mar tanks, and without the Mar tanks, that artillery is not going to be able to deal with this. Also, GoogleFrog has a ton of air units this time around, so Shalkka likely wouldn't be able to deal with that just with Martanks. Anyway, you need Martanks and frigates, and all the stuff you need would just be way too much. Halcyon class has been also researched for GoogleFrog, so right now GoogleFrog, if you wanted to, could chronoport back some Halcyon class units and really wreak havoc. 2 macrobes have been built though, so Martanks are a possibility for the future. Center has been still secured slightly. There's an army in the center, won't be able to do much. Top left base is completely lost to Shalkka. The middle base is going to be attacked by this Shin Turcher as well, so GoogleFrog does know it's still there, and more units are being teleported around, likely to attack the main base and try to finish off Shalkka, deal the killing blow. Once that happens, Shalkka will be out of the game, but Shalkka does have the macrofabs. I don't think he'll be quite as effective with the Mars if he builds them as he was with the Zion Pulsars, but if he's able to get away with it long enough, he has enough time bought for him from these attacks, he might actually be able to pull it off. He is jumping around, likely setting up macro orders. And no, that's GoogleFrog's RPs, or GoogleFrog is building more RPs. Shalkka likely is setting up production orders throughout the timeline just to make sure that he doesn't have to worry about it. That's just a guess, though. I'm not 100% sure. But he does have Martanks. He is actually going for exactly what I expected. Also getting Lancers to build up for anti-air, trying to harass as well with them. Likely won't get far, but still will be able to harass a little bit. Getting rid of the Shin Turcher. Holy crap, all the units are teleporting back to the main base to defend, and it looks like the Shin Turcher was destroyed. Everything else won't be quite as easy to take down. And no, GoogleFrog has changed his tactics and managed to destroy the Lancers. The Shin Turcher that was destroyed is going to be staying completely alive. And now GoogleFrog has dominance. He has dominance over this game. I don't really see him being able to lose out from here on, but Shalkka is getting what he had before as the key to his victory. However, he doesn't have a lot of production capacity, and GoogleFrog definitely does. GoogleFrog, however, doesn't have a lot of resources available. He has a lot of RPs, though, and he is going to be able to take care of all of Shalkka's RPs. So Shalkka pretty much has no free RPs. GoogleFrog has most of the map for RPs, and it looks like a Zion Halcyon has been set up to deal with what's going on now. I'm pretty sure Zion Halcyon. And Martanks, 5 Martanks actually as well. Martanks are being sent north, and Shalkka is trying to take care of this lockdown's expansion. No, sorry, the 10th Halcyon, and that will be dealt with very quickly by the... Yes, just shortly will be destroyed. Martanks doing a valiant job trying to defend, but the mechs are actually coming up as well to help defend, but likely won't be doing too much. The Martanks destroy the 10th Halcyon, but not the air units. The air units are going to be able to completely obliterate those Martanks. The mech coming in to try to finish them off, and the Martanks have been destroyed, so GoogleFrog will be in a great position to take out Shalkka's main. Once he takes out Shalkka's main, that'll be game, if he chooses to do so. And it looks like Shalkka has lost most of his production capacity. He's jumping back further, has very little chrono energy left too. He's really focused on getting what orders he can in. He's retreated his attack force, which is pretty reasonable. He could not defend against it. Getting the mechs up further to try to deal with the air units, and it looks like... Oh, we've got a discontinuity. So once the green time wave passes, the green time wave is going to carry the actual attack that Shalkka wants. Looks like he was able to get rid of... He got rid of two of them. Another Shin Turcher is going to be going down very quickly. The Martanks are going to be coming up afterwards, taking up the rear, trying to get rid of what's left. The mechs are doing a very stand-up job getting rid of the air units, while the Mars are getting rid of the infantry that fall out. So this attack force is actually falling apart very quickly. Shalkka might be able to use the artillery like he did last time to actually take care of GoogleFrog's forces. GoogleFrog, however, does have the chrono energy advantage, does have the position advantage, and does have map control. So Shalkka is still fighting an uphill battle at this point, but he won't be able to be just losing the game. He won't just have to say GG right now, because he does have some chance. GoogleFrog going back to try to fix this up, try to micromanage around it, but I don't see micromanagement getting him out of the situation right now. What I see getting him out is either using Gate Tech to chronoport back to units, reinforce or pre-enforce, take out those macrofabs, or just use his higher resource count and better production capacity to deal with what exists now. He is actually managing to get rid of more of the Martanks than before without the micromanagement. More mechs coming in to help deal with the Shin Turcher, but it looks like the Shin Turcher will be able to successfully deal with these forces. This is further back. Jumping up a minute, we see that Shalkka is still quite heavily mech'd up. His factory's built of mechs. Like I said, he probably set up production orders during that skipping around the timeline. So the Shin Turcher has managed to hold it off. The Martank, the last remaining Martank, is going towards GoogleFrog's main base, and the Shin Turcher, 2 Shin Turchers and a Zion Pulsar going to Shalkka's main base to deal with everything there. Getting rid of one of the importers. Mechs are not setting up to attack yet. However, one of the mechs has destroyed the Shin Turcher. Jumping back further, it looks like Shalkka is not paying attention to this quite yet. GoogleFrog has actually decided to deal with his Mar first, looks like, or deal with his main base attack. Yes, there's a Mar at the main base. Dealing with that before going to take care of the base again, just teleporting back into the main base to try to deal with it. More mechs, however, still being built. Shalkka is continuing to build up across the timeline, building a ton of infantry, building a ton of mechs, just slowly building up his forces. I don't know how effective that'll be, though. It is a slow build-up of his forces, no Mar tanks, very few resources. He's run out of QP, he's running out of LC fast. GoogleFrog still has a resource advantage, and this is the point where GoogleFrog's basically going to either die or going to win. If Shalkka somehow manages to pull off, he's in a really bad position, but the mechs are powerful against air, and GoogleFrog has focused a lot on air units right now. So the mechs are able to deal with these air units. GoogleFrog will actually be in a pretty tight spot. If he's able to deal with this attack, though, then the mechs will not be able to save Shalkka. Shalkka has very few resources. His RPs are almost gone. This is Shalkka's do-or-die moment, right now. Well, right in this rough span of time, Achron being what it is. So Shalkka does have still the armory in the center of the map. He is trying to get some RPs further north, and he does have some LC streaming in, but his QP is starting to run low, and I think those RPs are probably heavily threatened. So GoogleFrog building more foundations to deal with what's going on, getting a slipgate as well, so he will be able to corner port, and actually bypassing the mechs entirely to attack the main base directly before Shalkka is able to get rid of it. And no, changing his tactic, teleporting in and getting rid of the mechs very rapidly. Like I said, the mechs had to deal with this. However, the mechs have destroyed one Shinturcher. It looks like they're about to destroy maybe the other, but no, the infantry has managed to distract them well enough. The mechs are turning around, however, to deal with the attack that GoogleFrog had sent before he teleported away, and it looks like the mechs will be able to live slightly longer, but not by much. So GoogleFrog's forces didn't really take care of the mechs yet. And oh wow, the Shin is actually being attacked directly. If we go back to when the Green Time Wave is coming, the Shin if we jump back to when Shalkka's looking, I think we'll see the Shin actually die. And it looks like the mechs have managed to get the upper hand now. This time around, Shalkka managed to micromanage them just enough to get that Shin Halcyon out of the way, getting rid of the Shin Turtles as well. They're fronting the attack, and that is the problem right there. The Shin Turtle, one of the Shin Turtles is dead, the other Shin Turtle is almost dead, but the mechs have died, and the Shin Turtle has just barely lived. Holy crap, that infantry, those infantry really need to start helping out. If they don't, then that will be the game. Shalkka needs just all the help he can get to break that siege. If he's able to break it, he will have a chance, a small chance, but a chance nonetheless. If he's unable to break it, he might as well GG, because he pretty much has nothing going for him right now. His mech forces are almost there, however. He doesn't have enough CE to really order the infantry around, which is unfortunate. He really needed to have them hierarchy up or get another comm center so the auto-hierarchy actually works. But right now, auto-hierarchy is enabled, but the comm center is not, so the comm center will not be able to transmit that. The Shin Turcher is attacking the Macrophab, dealing with it as best it can. Shalkka, unable to really deal with this, unable to really order his forces around to deal with the Shin Turcher, appears to be sending something further to distract. He does have his infantry set up, hierarchied now. He managed to get that set up, but GoogleFrog is moving back. I don't know if there was something set up to distract him, or if he's just going for the RPs that were sent out, and it's hard to tell a bit further to the right. But from Shalkka's point of view, he has his infantry going out on a march, but march in a one at a time order. They're going in single file. It's not going to work out very well. The first infantry is going to die. The second one's also going to die, and the rest of them need to be set up in a line to attack directly, not to attack one at a time. Going in single file, Zion Pulsar is coming in. GoogleFrog is not setting up to attack yet. It is attacking now, and Zion Pulsar will be obliterating all the infantry in a hurry. So right now, a comm center appears to have been rebuilt. The auto-hierarchy functions appear to be working. But it all seems to be for naught. The infantry are coming in, dealing actually a fair amount of damage. Actually, no, the infantry might actually be able to turn this around a bit. But they are getting attacked very heavily. The Zion Pulsar is able to deal with what exists. And another Shin Turcher coming in and dealt with it. Not a huge amount of damage, and really not a whole lot going on for Shalkka's favor. So Shalkka is trying to get around this, but losing a lot of infantry, and GoogleFrog is just sending all of his forces to deal with this all at once, taking care of all the infantry that are coming in. Looks like GoogleFrog will not be losing this anytime soon. Very valiant effort by Shalkka. He does have some RPs set up around. GoogleFrog has seen a couple of them with the Zion Pulsar and is attacking them directly. The infantry are attacking the Annex. Will be able to destroy it very quickly, but the rest of these buildings will be able to defend. The Shin Turcher is patrolling around, not attacking directly. GoogleFrog doesn't seem to be paying as much attention to it as he is to just exploring, figuring out where Shalkka is hiding. Shalkka is doing a very good job of hiding, but not quite enough. His main force is still not big enough to attack, and that hiding is paying off somewhat, but I think GoogleFrog probably further in the past has managed to figure out what's going on and will likely be attacking the hiding spots. But a lot of infantry coming in. That's actually doing quite well. I didn't realize there was that many infantry that were built for Shalkka at that point. So Shalkka's still not dying. He's still keeping himself going, fighting on like a true warrior. But GoogleFrog just needs to figure out where everything is. As soon as he figures out where everything is, he'll be able to build up very quickly. And has actually chronoported back, and has chronoported some units back to deal with this. Looks like a... Well, it's hard to tell. We didn't see the arrival right now. The discontinuity was likely where the arrival was. The red time wave, once it passes that point about 10 seconds down from when we are, we should be seeing the chronoport. So the red time wave will be carrying a chronoported, probably Turcher. That will easily take care of the infantry that are coming in right now, because it likely got healed in the process. That is going to be probably it. Shalkka still has some hidden forces, but GoogleFrog is finding them, getting rid of them, not realizing where the armories are, and that's going to be the big thing. If Shalkka is getting any quarter, it's in that his armories are not getting attacked when they would be normally, and they're not getting attacked heavily, which means the armories are actually getting the ability to build up infantry, which Shalkka is able to use quite effectively. If he's able to continue along with this, he might actually be able to come back a bit, or at least break the siege. That's what he really needs right now. But his RPs around the map are being harassed. He is, however, getting quite a bit of... He's getting quite a bit of resources. He's still building in the center of the map. An importer as well in the center of the map. Nothing has been built up to deal with it, but GoogleFrog will likely be dealing with it as soon as he can. And Zion Turcher right outside that expansion. Shin Turcher patrolling around to figure what's going on, but likely near the unplayable pass when GoogleFrog actually is focusing. No players are looking right now. So when GoogleFrog's actually looking, we probably will see him doing something a bit more offensive to deal with this. I'm sure the red time wave attacks are happening, but a heavy cruiser is being built for Shalkka, and the infantry is coming in, so it looks like back when GoogleFrog is, we do see that he hasn't actually started to attack anything yet. I don't know if he's aware of that attack further, or that base further in the center. The heavy cruiser will help out a bit, but I don't know if it's going to help out very much. Specials is being researched, which won't mean much. There isn't anything that Shalkka has in the moment that needs specials. He needs aerospace if he wants to get nukes, which is a fair bit more expensive than specials. He doesn't have it yet. And his infantry are once again walking in single file to their deaths, getting destroyed. A much stronger defense force by GoogleFrog this time, being teleported around, trying to just deal with everything peripheral on the map before dealing with the main base directly. Unfortunately, not seeing the center. GoogleFrog still does not see the center, so he can't quite take this game yet, but once he sees the center, he will be able to take it. Shalkka doing, like I said, a very good job using CISO's ability to just build anywhere for fairly cheap. I mean, anyone can build anywhere, but CISO doesn't have the base cost of foundations, and that can slow down vector expansions. And it looks like one of the armories has been spotted. GoogleFrog is well aware of one of the armories. He probably will be aware of the other center armory as well, and the importer very quickly. So the armories are likely to be destroyed a bit north, and GoogleFrog, back when he is, hasn't attacked yet, but he did jump further back from when he was looking. He is getting rid of the RPs on the south expansion. He is trying to get rid of the RPs in the north as well. Not getting rid of the armory, though. Very close to spotting the center army. A lot of infantry there. I don't think they'll be able to deal with these forces. There's a lot of Halcyon class units. Very powerful. Not as much splash damage, but still probably won't die quickly enough. The center army will be attacked very heavily. A lot of infantry there. More infantry coming in from the sides. The infantry will be able to flank, but not be able to last long enough. One of the Shinchurchers does die, though. Not enough to really be able to secure this for Shalkka, but enough that it's still a bit of a loss for GoogleFrog. Not anything meaningful. He will have enough forces, enough production capacity. GoogleFrog actually has a huge surplus of resources. He pretty much can't be undermined at this point. And continuing to attack, continuing to build up. More forces coming in for Shalkka, but not enough to really deal with this. The infantry are attacking the main base directly, retreating from the armories, attacking the main base. Jumping back a couple seconds, we do see that Shalkka hasn't really changed much of what he's doing. GoogleFrog further up has likely seen this attack coming in. The RPs will detect it as it's coming in. Won't be able to attack anything super meaningful. The RPs, while handy, aren't actually strictly necessary for this to work. GoogleFrog, like I said, pretty much cannot be undermined at this point. His forces just need to come around and actually deal with his infantry as they're walking towards the main. So the center has been dealt with. GoogleFrog willing to deal with the top left again, though. Shalkka likes to doing a very good job being like a weed, which is very much what you want to be when you're losing but still have a chance. Is you want to make sure you aren't letting your opponent give you, or if your opponent's giving you any quarter, take all the quarter you can get. More infantry coming up, and heavy cruiser is still there. Hasn't attacked yet. Shalkka's still just biding his time, trying to send up some infantry to scout out, figure what's going on. Martank as well helping out to attack. So that siege will likely be broken very shortly. but all GoogleFrog needs to do is send his forces around just in the right spots, get rid of the infantry, get rid of the attack force on his siege, secure that, and now that's what he's doing right now. He's securing the siege, getting rid of the Martank, getting rid of the rest of the infantry, and likely attacking the main base directly. At this point, he pretty much needs to do that. That's not where Shalkka's main resources are, but it's a lot of his production capacity and a lot of his potential production capacity if he's allowed to get more resources than he has now. So GoogleFrog, once again, very shy about attacking the main base. He is trying to harass it over the mountains, though. No, he's trying to harass north of the mountains. And the infantry have come in. Now that the defense force has left, however, GoogleFrog's force can just teleport back to this defense force if necessary. Well, that's a lot of infantry coming in, though. That's about 2 dozen infantry from the looks of it at a casual glance. And the forces are attacking the top left expansion. He found that out again, while Shalkka will be able to, if no defense comes in, which it is coming in. No, this is the old defense that we saw before that didn't actually deal with much. So GoogleFrog doesn't seem to be too worried about this, more worried about the top left expansion, but he may have changed his tactic to stay in this base when the infantry attack, to deal with them as they attack. If he does that, he will be able to hold up everything. And yes, he is sending his forces to defend against this force, and that will be coming in. So the infantry forces coming in will be obliterated one by one, getting destroyed in short order. The heavy cruiser coming in, but a little bit late, unfortunately, for it. All the infantry have been killed. The heavy cruiser will be destroyed in short order, and we see that a bit further in the future. Those downloads continuity. GoogleFrog jump back a bit further to help micro around this. Shalkka jumping forward, probably to either help around production or figure out what's going on exactly in the future, but unfortunately for him, nothing good. He does have the top left expansion now, though. GoogleFrog is not attacking it directly. GoogleFrog might actually want to send a few Halcyon-class units, a couple Zion Halcyons, just to the top left expansion to deal with it. But the main expansion, that's where all the importers are, that's where all the reserves are. If those are destroyed, then GoogleFrog is going to take this. Shalkka will have no reserves, he'll have very little production capacity available to him. He'll have nothing to build most of his units with, especially his infantry. So Shalkka doing a very good job still, keeping himself alive. There's more buildings being built in the middle left expansions, but GoogleFrog is relentless with his assaults, finally attacking the main base. Actually, he's been attacking for a while now. He's attacking the main base and destroyed one of the macrofabs when we were looking, but another armory and 2 more importers in the center of the map. And I think the one thing that is giving Shalkka a bit more time is that GoogleFrog is not spreading his forces out. He's not building a lot of pulsers. Admittedly, this far back in time, it's difficult to do so because they're more CE heavy and it's harder to build as many of them because you can build more of them for the resources. But sending a bunch of those around just to deal with all of the expansions at once, that's the only way to really get rid of Shalkka at this point. It's just to deal with everything he has at once. If you leave any of the expansions unattended, that will allow for him to rebuild there, or even just any of the points on the map unattended. He'll be able to rebuild and keep going. He's doing a very good job just keeping himself going. Building back up, sort of wearing down GoogleFrog. GoogleFrog's main bottleneck right now is his chrono energy. He has plenty of resources, but he doesn't have a lot of chrono energy left. He's trying to do what he can with what orders he has, but he only has 1 order left. Shalkka, however, is pretty much sitting on 0 chrono energy, just holding it and trying to do everything he can, but not having a lot of stuff he can do. Martank being sent across to try to deal with the RP, trying to deal with the main base. And Shalkka, like I said, doing a very good job being a total weed, not letting himself die, just regrowing. Every time he's knocked down, he regrows somewhere else. That's being very hard for GoogleFrog to deal with. But I think GoogleFrog, he did build some Zion pulses earlier, we saw. I'm guessing he will be sending them around. Sending his main force to try to deal with the attacks, try to deal with all the bases set up. He does see one of them and will be attacking center base, which is probably the base that was best set up, 2 importers and 1 armory, other than the main, that is. And yeah, he's teleporting in now just to attack that base directly and destroy the importers first, get rid of the armory afterwards. The importers are the big ticket item. They're what actually hold all the reserves. The reserves are strictly necessary for CISO to get all of their units except for mechs. While the Martank is attacking the main base directly, but GoogleFrog shouldn't worry about that too much. He really should worry about just taking care of all of these buildings that are being set up around the map. He has the siege base. His main base would likely be able to get a couple Zion pulses just to deal with what's already there. What he really needs, although he is going back to defend it, sending all of his units back to defend it against 1 Mar, which will allow Shalkka to rebuild a bit more, buy himself a bit more time. GoogleFrog really needs to set up, just get rid of what's there, going back to the siege base and not attacking from there yet. I don't know if he's going to be setting up more units, trying to build up from there, but he has not attacked yet from the siege base to the top left base, and now he's going to top left, or no, he's going to the center left base, continuing to try to double check where the bases are, but not at the top left. Now going to the top left, and will be able to destroy it in short order, meaning that Shalkka will once again be left with his well, not only with his main base, his comm center will be destroyed as well, which is the big thing. That's what is allowing him to really handle his infantry without having to worry about chrono energy cost, is the auto-hierarchy feature allows all of his units to hierarchy very quickly, meaning he has less chrono energy to spend to order them around. But it doesn't matter. There's too much coming in from GoogleFrog right now for the infantry strategy to work. Too many units, too many high-tech units, and that is going to be pretty much game once Shalkka gets his main base destroyed. His top left base is being damaged. He's trying to do what he can to micro around it, but there's not much he can do. Realizing that he's jumping forward in the future, trying to probably deal with what's there. GoogleFrog, however, focusing, just fast-forwarding towards the future, focusing on what's going on, direct attack, not so much with getting around. It looks like Shalkka is trying to defend what he can, but I don't see what he's going to be able to accomplish with that. Unless he's doing production in his main base, it's hard to tell, but it looks like GoogleFrog, from his point of view, has destroyed this base. I'm a bit surprised he hasn't just gone and started to attack the main base yet. The RPs, while useful, that's still buying Shalkka a bit of time, and it seems like a bit of time is all he's ever needed for him to be able to get more units, get more armories, get more, not really factories, doesn't build those a lot, but still get more armories, get more infantry, just keep building up. The blue time move, we just jumped about 2 minutes forward, and blue time move will be carrying the attack that just happened. I would like to be carrying it, if not, than the green time wave. And yes, you see the attack happening now, and GoogleFrog is just jumping around trying to deal with it. Both players very near the unplayable past will be not able to really counter anything going on. Whatever a player does now will be pretty much uncounterable. And actually, GoogleFrog has all of his tech right now except for power. And he has more than enough foundations for his power, so I wouldn't be surprised if a skip torpedo was launched at the main base right about now, or very soon. Weaponry isn't just for that, but it does help. It does allow for that, and it's a good way to spend a lot of money to deal a lot of damage. So if that happens, I would not be surprised. More units are streaming into the top left base. Really, at this point, they need to be focused on the main base. The top left base is dead for all intents and purposes. The RPs, yes, they are there, but they're not that important. What needs to be done is the main base needs to be destroyed, and that will completely end the game. Shalkka will not be able to recover from that. But right now, it looks like... No, it looks like Shalkka's actually realized it's hopeless and is probably going to GG very soon. So that was an interesting game. Shalkka did a very good job trying to not die. Very impressive not dying, but GoogleFrog did manage to weed it out. And yes, now there's an attack on the main base, which will be finishing it off. And that will be game for GoogleFrog, if it hasn't been already. So that is game 2. So 1-1-ish. 1 for GoogleFrog for sure. We'll see about the 1 for Shalkka if necessary, but as I mentioned, what will happen with that? Save game. And we'll move on to game 3. Once Shalkka actually GG's and the game is officially over. But Shalkka is trying to do one valiant last stand with his Blackbird, which will not last long, as GoogleFrog's forces are coming in, destroying that Blackbird, destroying the RPs that are trying to escape. So a few more RPs coming in, but no production facilities for Shalkka very shortly. And that will be the game. And Shalkka's actually trying to get gate tech. They're trying to get gate tech as well, just researching it right now. Unfortunately, not enough resources to build chronoports, let alone chronoport. And yeah, from GoogleFrog's point of view, Shalkka's pretty much died. From Shalkka's point of view, Shalkka's pretty much died. Everything is owned by GoogleFrog now, and there's the main base for Shalkka. That's it. Shalkka GG. Okay, that's the game. So on to game 3. Shalkka's choice of map. We'll be coming back to you once that's decided. And that was quite a game. 40 minutes of action. See, like I said, lots of action. These two players are very good at getting lots of action. It's very tense, very tight. I still think GoogleFrog could have ended it sooner. I really do. The amount of jumping around he did, he could have probably split his forces. When he had a bit more chrono energy, maybe set them up into 2 hierarchy groups and then chronoported them separately. Because he would have had to spend chrono energy to set them into hierarchies in the first place. But setting them up separately would have allowed him to deal with the main base and the top left base without having to deal with them separately, allowing Shalkka to regrow like he did. So, just double check to see what the players do to their maps. Okay, so the players are choosing the map, and we are still waiting on that. So, finals at this point, like I said, numbers are... I just don't want to spoil it right now. But if you are watching the stream... Actually, I suggest if you're watching the YouTube videos, watch them in the order they're posted, because I do try to post them in chronological order. So I am going to spoil this if you have seen it, because you probably have been watching the stream or the YouTube videos. The GoogleFrog Shalkka match, whoever wins that will be fighting against Numbers in the finals, which will be after the third match of GoogleFrog versus Shalkka, once the map is decided. And once Numbers is in the finals, we'll see what happens between the two of them. I'm not sure really who's going to win. I mean, Numbers did a pretty good job, although Haiku did he did mess up in the last match. If you're wondering, we actually looked it up. Apparently Haiku was trying to do a race switch strategy with an all-in to start, and he forgot to do the race switch part. And that ended up losing him the game. So I'm not sure this is going to work. Numbers, while skilled, is still very new and while he has a lot of experience from mass gaming, is still kind of new, while GoogleFrog and Shalkka have been playing since before I have, actually. And I've been playing for the last year or so. So they've been playing pretty much since the beginning of the alpha, and that was January 2010. That is a lot of experience. Admittedly, there's been a lot of changes, and they have adapted it pretty well from what we can see. So that will be a tough opponent for Numbers, whoever wins. Regardless of who wins, Numbers will have a tough fight if he wants to win the final. But it should be very interesting. He does have a lot of spirit, and he does have a lot of defense capability. I will be surprised if it's a pure sweep, or at least I'll be surprised if it's a bunch of fast games. That'll be kind of a disappointing final, but hopefully it'll be some interesting games. Not too long, because I would like to go to sleep at some point tonight. But hopefully it will be interesting games, and we will see Numbers duke it out with either GoogleFrog or Shalkka, whoever wins this series, and we'll see if they've chosen the map yet. Okay, Shalkka has actually requested a short break before the next map. I shall take advantage of this break to get myself some more ginger tea. As I mentioned before, ginger tea is a secret to good commentating. Excuse me.